Welcome to the Principal Podcast, where we talk about how the best professional services firms grow. Whether you're looking to scale your firm or learn from the stories of founders and leaders who've done it, you're in the right place. Join us as we interview the best leaders in professional services. Let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Principal Podcast, a place where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your own practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, John Degnan. Join me as we talk with the best consultants in their niche. Today we have one, Christine Rogers, CEO of M3 Learning, the company behind ProActive Selling, a methodology designed to help professional service firms and sales teams move from reactive selling to trusted advisory relationships. In this episode of the Principal Podcast, Christine shares how firms can build stronger client relationships, shorten sales cycles, improve retention, and create repeatable business development systems that scale beyond individual rainmakers. Welcome.
Thank you, John. Really happy to be here today.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, Christine. So tell us about yourself.
Oh my gosh, that's a big question. Yeah, I'm a CEO by day. I have two almost men at this point. I guess they are technically 18 and 20-year-old boys. I am an avid dog lover and rescuer. And I know you, John, you can see this, but other people can't. But he's right behind me. My newest rescue, I rescue boxers. So some passion of mine and where I actually got some of my leadership practice was in dog rescue. So yeah, that has a big part of my life.
Okay. And how did you start out of college?
Out of college, I thought I probably wanted to go to law school. So I was thinking I had my degree is in like a justice background. And then pretty much like everybody fell into sales, started working in insurance, and then moved into my own business and being an entrepreneur, kind of a small business owner. And then moved into technology sales and kind of from there have been working in the sales side, for the last 25 years.
And what originally pulled you into this sales leadership and advisory work?
You know, Originally, I've always been a leader in any capacity. So especially like in my dog rescue time, we were a very small organization and I was right out of, in college, right out of high school and college, and started working and actually became, a volunteer advocate and then started leading that organization as a board member very, very young in my tenure. And I found that I was pretty good at that, at looking at different scenarios and people and, learning how to manage people. And, when we're managing employees, can you imagine managing volunteers who are giving their free time and having to have hard conversations called, your free time is not welcome anymore because it's causing too many problems. They're challenging conversations to have for sure. But that was pretty much my in on how to be in leadership. And then as I started moving into organizations, I found that I could apply those same principles there. So that's really how I started in leadership within companies.
You're a former small business owner. What was the small business?
It was a retail furniture store. So it was a furniture store for children and babies. So I sold cribs and bunk beds and all of those types of things.
Okay. And what specific problem are you helping clients solve today? And why does solving that problem matter so personally to you?
Yeah. So since taking over proactive selling, my predecessor and mentor, Skip Miller, he wrote proactive selling pretty much 30 years ago. And when I was introduced to that um, in my first tech sales job, it really clicked for me. The ideas, the concepts of proactive selling made sense. That it's very tool focused and tool heavy. And so as I got further into that career, I continued to bring proactive selling this methodology with me in the different companies that I was involved in and that I, left and brought proactive selling with me to the next one. So what I can say is this, now that I am the CEO of M3 Learning, what I think we do best is help sellers understand um, how to be in sync with the buyer, with how buyers actually make decisions. And it's usually not an effort problem. salespeople, I mean, they put in tons of effort. It's what I would call an altitude problem. They might be speaking the wrong language to the person that we would call the below the line versus the above the line. And understanding that most sellers just get stuck in those conversations and the wrong person saying the wrong things, not understanding how buyers buy. So we help sellers understand that and help the leaders of those organizations be able to navigate that with them and ultimately get better results.
Yeah, tell us more about proactive selling, the methodology.
Okay. So I would say it's a consultative sales methodology. It is, like I said, less concept and theory and more tool focused. So, how to actually have that conversation. It's not a checklist where you're like, oh, do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? How you actually get an above the line person to engage with you in a conversation like that or to answer the right questions rather than just feeling like a checklist, as some other kind of sales process methodologies are. So, these are trademarked tools that have been working over, gosh, over 30 years. And so, even with the changes that we see in market and the new technologies that are going on, AI that's, very present and prevalent, we can make these tools work within the systems, within different industries, they work.
Your website says you train 300,000 salespeople in 35 countries. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, Skip before me, I've only been the CEO of M3 Learning for 2 years. I mean, he had a long, long, very tenured time with many very large companies and, yeah, has had a major impact.
35 countries, too. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Who are your ideal clients today, and who usually makes the decision to bring M3 learning in?
Mm. I would say our ideal clients, we predominantly work in B2B. I have a few that have B2B and B2C, but I would say B2B, anywhere from our sweet spot would be, in the teens, 10 above reps up into, however many, I would say probably 50 to 75 is our sweet spot. Can do larger, have done smaller, depending on what the need is. I would say complex, multi stakeholder sales. Yet, proactive selling still has worked. In my first company, we were B2B and it was small businesses, SMBs. And so it can work there. But I would say where we really start to see the data show strong results is in those multi stakeholder complicated sales.
I read a quote of yours that said, "The road to a good salesperson is through the land of a thousand mistakes." Can you
Yeah,
elaborate on that?
sure. I think, in a conversation I had with a colleague, it was many years ago now. He said, the thing that we've got to make sure all these new sales reps know is that they're going to have to make mistakes. And so as we had that conversation, it truly is. It's not that you're not going to make them. It's how quickly can you make those mistakes, learn from them, and move on. So it really is a good, strong, successful salesperson. It is a road to 1,000 mistakes. And as fast as you can make those mistakes and learn and get back up and do it again, um, the faster you will be seeing results that you're happy with.
Okay. You built a reputation of driven business across multiple industries. How do
Mhm.
clients typically find you, and what does work best when it comes to building trust and attracting new business?
In my world, I am so fortunate to have had Skip have so many relationships and did so much training in the past. Almost every single conversation that I get inbound goes this way. Hi, Christine, I was trained by Skip and I was a rep, 15 years ago. Now I'm the VP of sales because proactive selling really worked for me. And I want to bring it to my team. And you're the only place that can get it. And I'm not sure if I like you. So I want to see if we can make this work. And that is truly how I get so many of my clients. It's prior people that are proactive selling, I would say zealots. They understand it, know that it works, or they are referred by someone who knows that it works. I'm just really fortunate. The list of clients that we have and currently have are varied in all different types of industries, which I mean, I have everything from HVAC manufacturing to pipeline oil drilling to the largest AI companies in the world in both legal and, just the large AI companies. And, I would say we're so fortunate in that so many of the people inside of those organizations knew proactive selling and had been the front runners in every organization because they used it. So now they're running companies.
What do you think about podcasting as a marketing tool?
I think it's great. I think that then people get a chance to get to know someone in a more conversational way, as long as, you can be pretty authentic on these things. I think I'm not for everyone and everyone is not for me. And so, if we are working intimately together to create more possibility for your team, we got to make sure we get along. And I think that when you're doing a podcast like this and someone's listening, they're either going to be drawn to those personality types or kind of repelled by it, and I think it works fantastic to let people get to know behind the scenes a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did Skip do it?
He did. He did, and Skip, if you knew him, John, you would be cracking up because, man, he was feisty. You never knew what you were gonna get on a podcast with. And he both had a podcast and he went on many podcasts, including ones that I would, was creating in different organizations. He'd come on with me and man, I never knew if he was gonna yell at me for something. Yeah. He would say, Christine, you know better than that, or something like that, and he was definitely entertaining.
Okay. You work with organizations that often deal with long and complex buying cycles. What do the best professional service firms do differently to maintain momentum and close high value engagements?
Mm. That's a really well, without knowing all of the types of consultancies and listen to this, I would say understanding the buyer, understanding the roles within the process. So we've got all types of people within a buying process and understanding how we are going to be navigating that political map of who's going to actually be making the decision and then controlling the process. I think one of the biggest problems that I see is that people are afraid to be, quote, salesy. And Skip used to always say, people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. And so when we're coming to the table and we're both the person that delivers very often and has to sell, if we're not controlling this process along the way, then our client, our prospect feels like, just uncomfortable. And so if they want to know, that you're gonna handle them when they are actually your client, you need to show them that through the process. Have them experience what it's like to be like with you even through the selling process.
As you continue growing M3 learning and evolving the business, where do you find yourself most stuck right now, if at all?
Mm. I think how to scale this business in a way that still keeps the authenticity. One of the things that Skip, before he passed away, he asked me to please take care of this legacy. And I want to. He created something really meaningful that has helped many, many people. And I want to create a company that he would be proud of, keeping it really authentically him and still bringing us into the future of what's new, what's next, and how do we make revisions that are going to be timely.
What's culturally different in the organization from Skip to Christine?
That's a good, really good question. I think that I have very recently been a sales leader, so in the last 10 years, I've run sales organizations. And so I have felt that pressure, that BC pressure that's coming, down and I'm on the hot seat and all of those things. So when Skip asked me to take this business over, he said, "You are your ICP and you're going to bring something different to this than I did because, 30 years is a long time where he was actually, leading. And so I think for me, one thing that's different is, man, I know what it feels like to have to create a board deck and go in there when you've delivered a quarter that is not good. And so I think some of just my I hate to say it, but empathy and understanding at a very recent in a very recent time could be helpful and different than some of what he brought to the table. And he acknowledged that. I mean, that was part of why he we had that discussion around the business that we did.
your complementary core competencies.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Okay. Okay. Um, Case study wise, can you tell us about a client of yours?
Let's see. Sure. So one of my favorite clients that I work with, I had they're an HVAC manufacturing company. They're here in the United States and they work in I mean, they are incredibly complex as far as all the different products that they have and the services that they offer. They are always acquiring more businesses and they also sell and they sell through distribution. So it is a fascinating case study because it is multi-level, and the distributor reps that sell their product also need to understand proactive selling, right?
Mhm.
But they're not employees. So how do we help the actual team teach those distributor reps how to sell as well? It's been fascinating. Excuse me. And it's worked very well. Yeah.
Um, Obstacle wise, challenge wise, what's in front of you today?
I am currently looking for others that want to teach and train proactive selling. So, as I'm thinking about evolving this business, I want to have a handful of proactive selling trainers that want to incorporate proactive selling into their consultancy, into their business. And the good thing is, there are a lot of fractional leaders, there are a lot of consultants that have a methodology, but they've kind of piecemealed things together. And so what I'm looking for is people who also want to take a known methodology and add it to what they're already giving to their clients and being able to do it in a way that, would create a bigger brand for M3 Learning and proactive selling and then allow, just a handful. I'm not looking for franchisees. I'm looking for a few people that could help me do this because I do get inbound. I want to be able to not have to serve everything myself, but to be able to have other people that have a passion around this as well to be able to do that.
What do you look for in a great trainer?
I think a couple of things. One, somebody that is, I would say, enthusiastic, who not only believes it, but can bring passion to the conversation. You and I both know you hear training, and most people are like, I don't want to, I don't even want to go do that. And I feel that way too, so we all have felt that. But how do we get people to be enthusiastic when they see that calendar invite come over that says, Christine from M3 Learning is going to be doing a training where they're feeling like, oh, yeah, I like hanging out with her for an hour. That is what I'm looking for in other trainers. People that have done the work, I think is important too. I have never known trainers that have not also carried a bag. Like they need to know how to sell and sell their own deals. I mean, every client we bring in, I sell it. And that's pretty difficult when you're selling sales training because that means I can't skip steps. I have to exactly show them that I know exactly how to do these tools and how to use the tools because then they won't believe that I actually know what I'm doing if I don't take them through the process appropriately. So that is, I mean, the bar is high as far as what it needs to be. And then you got to be able to deliver in a way that people are excited by.
Absolutely. Looking ahead, where do you see the biggest opportunity for sales training and strategic advisory work over the next few years?
I think it's interesting because we're seeing so many organizations and even like with AI, for instance, telling people, oh, it can train your reps, it can do all of these things, it can give guidance. What I have found is that in this space, people do not want, they don't want the same one size fits all. They want a bespoke, customized opportunity and conversation on a regular basis. Every single prospect that comes to me is asking me specifically for, can you customize this in a way that will make absolute sense for my team? I don't want something that I can just go buy and pull it off the shelf. I want specificity and I want it to feel bespoke. So I think that in a world where things are becoming so rinse and repeat and scale, 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 I'm going to lean into we're going to use the tools that are available to help us scale, but that we're going to create a more human experience, even more customized and more bespoke, so that we're really leveraging tools for what it needs to be used for, but creating stronger relationships and long-term relationships with our clients.
Finally, Christine, your relationship with AI in your organization.
Yeah. We use AI quite a bit, but we do not use it for conversation. We don't use it in a way that would make people feel uncomfortable. So AI is going to kill average. That's what I think. Just like, the market when it was so frothy and people didn't have to know how to sell, they could, technology and people that were in software, it was just laying down, everybody was buying things. And then what happened was when the market started to change, it really did show who had the competency and who didn't. And what happened was average went away. I mean, it became very, very obvious. So I think it's going to be automating research, maybe helping take the admin tools and tasks away from the reps so that they can truly focus on how to have the conversation. So less on, here's a playbook that Claude created for me, and differently, here's how to think. Here's how to have strong conversations. Here's the way that we're connecting the dots, because those that can critically think and still connect those dots and understand the buyer will be successful.
If people want to find out more about you and see what you do, where should they go?
I'm all over LinkedIn. So Christine Rogers of M3 Learning on LinkedIn. Follow me there. And always m3learning.com, our website. You can also find me there as well.
Great conversation, Christine. Thank you so much. We're going to put all the links in the description. We really appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you, John. I had fun. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Principal Podcast. We hope you learned valuable strategies to grow your firm and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time.